I'm hoping somebody can finally give me the answer because I've been looking for it. What do these games improve on from the first game to the second game? So Last of Us 2, Last of Us 1. What does Last of Us 2 do better gameplay wise and evolutionary wise? Like, it doesn't have to be like the most revolutionary gameplay mechanic change of all time. Games do not need to do that. We've already seen so many different innovative, revolutionary gameplay mechanics like throughout the history of gaming. Like, a lot of games aren't going to be that innovative enough because a lot of games have already done the thing that a game did before it came. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, that sounds weird the way I just worded it, but it like it's hard to be original is what I'm trying to say. Like, so the best thing you can do is refine and be evolutionary on a certain mechanic or mechanics, and you make a great game built off that. Expedition wasn't the first game to have, turn-based live action, combat. That was Legend of Dragoon. Shout out TBH, he always says that, Black Okage. But that wasn't the first game to have, real-time or turn-based real-time combat. But it low-key is a little bit revolutionary because it had a dodge and a parry, and you could attack and boost your team and all that. So it is a little bit revolutionary in that aspect, but it improved on what Legend of Dragoon and even like a game like Paper Mario, because I'm pretty sure Paper Mario had that, if I'm not mistaken, had like live action turn-based live action combat like that. So that's what I'm saying. You don't need to be the most revolutionary game ever and make a whole new, you know what I'm saying? Just refine a certain mechanic and evolve off that. You don't gotta do anything too crazy. What's good, YouTube? It's NoWayJeric, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be continuing talking about why I feel like Sony sequels have been lacking. And this video, we're talking about the most controversial one, Last of Us 2. And even just by the gameplay, I'm not going to go back and play Last of Us 2. I had to get some Last of Us 1 gameplay for y'all, because Last of Us 1 is in my like top 50 like best games ever. One of my favorite games ever. One of the first games like actually, make me like not one of the first games, like it's one of those games that like you will get teary-eyed playing this game. You're gonna cry. I had that ball stuck in the throat feeling on certain scenes, and certain points in the plot that was just like it's crazy how good the voice acting was in this game and how just emotional it could get you. I'm a person who doesn't really cry when it comes to the media I consume, except for music. Music always makes me cry. I don't know why, but it's certain songs that I can just play. That would just like get me teary-eyed. Frank Ocean, Kanye, like there's many artists that a certain song I might just play and I'm just getting teary-eyed and I just start bawling. Chief Keef, there's a certain Chief Keef song, and I ain't gonna put you on game. I'm gatekeeping. If you want to know, comment down below. But I'm gatekeeping that song. There's a certain Chief Keef Sosa song that will make you cry. I don't give a damn what nobody got to say. Anyways, though, that's not what we're talking about in the video. We're talking about Last of Us 2 and Sony sequels as a whole. And starting off Last of Us 2, like I said in my intro, I don't think Last of Us 2 improved on anything gameplay-wise compared to the first game. And what I mean by that is, it's like the animations and the gameplay still feel the same. I played Last of Us 2 when it came out. I never finished it, but I got a cool like 15, 20 hours on it. I played the game, for a good amount of time. And I feel like the game didn't really grab me gameplay-wise. It was the same thing. And it's hard for a game like Last of Us, made by Naughty Dog. They made Uncharted 2. They pretty much been making the same game for 20 years. I don't know if y'all know that. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to, like, the games they've been making. They used to make more games back, like Jak and Daxter. They used to make other platformers, Crash Bandicoot, back in the day. But from, like, 06, 07, when Uncharted 1 came out, and that game was horrible. It was a foundation for Uncharted, but the gameplay in the game is like that game is outdated as hell. From Uncharted 1, which is like 06, 07, Uncharted 2, 09, 3, it was like 2011, 2012, like 4, Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2, then you got all the remasters and remakes they've been making. They don't stop. They've been making the same game for 20 plus years. Like they haven't changed the formula. Uncharted and Last of Us are the same game. I don't know why people will be trying to argue that. It's the same game. One game has zombies, one game just has regular niggas. Like, it's the same game. They haven't really changed on the gameplay formula. They haven't done anything unique. Like, I guess adding zombies is cool, but you're still, like, in Uncharted there's stealth sections, and Last of Us there's stealth sections. And a game like Uncharted and Last of Us, they're like a jack of all trades game. I don't know if y'all heard that term, but like a game that has a bunch of different elements and they do all these elements pretty well, but they don't master any of them like to to the best of their ability, if that makes sense. They don't master the stealth, they don't master the shooting, they don't master the hand-to-hand combat, they don't master the horror. All like Resident Evil does horror better than Last of Us, like just better. Silent Hill does better horror, obviously. Alan Wake, God of War does better hand-to-hand combat or hand-to-hand combat. Third-person shooting, Returnal does third-person shooting better than this. Gears of War, and even like the stealth mechanics. Like we're not gonna put Last of Us 2 or Last of Us 1 on the same tier as a Splinter Cell, a Hitman. Like it's just not in that category of a stealth game. But they want to. It's like GTA games. Like Rockstar does the same thing where they want to be a jack of all trades and implement all these different mechanics into one game, but they don't master any of those mechanics. The only thing you can say they master, I guess, is the writing and how captivating the plot can be. But in Last of Us 2, they didn't do that. They didn't make a good plot. In my opinion, I feel like the whole revenge is bad thing has been told before and has been told better, and they didn't really do anything new. Like, I feel like the characters in the game weren't as gripping as the characters in the first game. It was like the second game was long as hell too. It was dragging along. The second game is like 30-40 hours. The first game is like 15-20, so it's a pretty grounded, and that's the same thing I have for Spider-Man 1. The first games in the series are like the foundation games, the games you set, you world build, you set the foundation in. Those are like the most grounded games, and that ends up being the best stories. A lot of people are starting to turn an eye, or not turning an eye. What's the word? They're starting to turn on a game, a very specific game, and I hate because the game is actually really good. The game's a classic, honestly, but some people are starting to turn on Arkham City, and I get it. Arkham City is not the best Batman game, but it was like the evolutionary jump that Rocksteady needed to like cement themselves as like one of the best game devs. They made one of the best and one of the most influential game series of all time. But what Batman Arkham City did is that it made an open world. They made the game open world. They added more bosses. It was just a bigger Batman game, and it was evolution. It was revolutionary for its time, but in general, it was just evolutionary for the series. But people are starting to be like, oh yeah, Arkham Asylum is actually better than Arkham City, because Arkham City's plot was not that good. Like Arkham City's plot was okay, but they had that. Arkham City had that thing where they had a lot of shit going. Like it was a lot of different shit going on, and a lot of different convoluted shit going on, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't a good cohesive story in its all of its parts. But they had like the Hugo Strange thing, they had Clayface. That boss fight was, and in my opinion, that's still one of the worst ending boss fights of the game. I don't even like dislike Clayface. I just think that boss fight was ass. Like they had all these different, they just had too much shit going on, like for its for the game. But I think Arkham City is one of the best Batman games. Like I think it's a better game than Arkham Asylum. But if somebody told me Asylum is better than the City, I wouldn't like. I wouldn't disagree. Like it is a more grounded and more cohesive story. But going back to Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2 didn't do anything different with the game. Like I'm sorry, just because a game looks better and the animations look better than the previous game doesn't mean the gameplay was that evolutionary. It doesn't mean the gameplay, took a step forward. Like just because Last of Us 2 made the grass taller, they added dogs, they made it to where, I have this thing with Last of Us. I feel like they all of a sudden just wanted to hate Ellie for no reason. But, and the reason why is because all of a sudden when you're playing as Ellie, specifically when you're playing as Ellie, because not Abby, specifically when you were playing as Ellie, when you kill like the people of Abby's crew or whatever that faction's called, they scream out the other person's name like, "Oh my God, they got Johnny! Oh my God, they got Sierra!" Like all of a sudden, these random ass NPCs got names now. What other game does shit like that? That might be a little nitpick, but what other game be having random ass NPCs with names and lives now? Oh, they got my wife Johnny. She just had her newborn baby. Like what the flick? Like I'm sorry, that was very, very specific in the game. I don't know if I ever realized that, but I feel like all of a sudden Naughty Dog just wanted to hate Ellie and push like this whole, because it goes with the whole revenge is bad agenda they wanted to push in the game. Other games have done it better, but the whole revenge is bad thing, Ellie should be going on this revenge path. Like she did a lot of, the game really made you try to hate Ellie. She did a lot of dumb shit. She literally listened to Tommy going back and going to kill Abby, and she didn't even kill Abby. So I feel like they really made you want to hate Ellie in this game for literally no reason at all. Like she was a main character in the first game, people loved her. Now in the second game, she's a fucking hard-headed, like just dumbass. And she's always been that, but it's like times 10 in Last of Us 2. But I don't want to go too much in the plot, more so on the gameplay. Last of Us 2, if it has a worse plot and the same gameplay from the first game, the game isn't that good. And it's crazy. In 2020, it's crazy. We had all these great games: Final Fantasy VII, the remake, Doom Eternal, Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, which probably should have won. We had all these great games in 2020, and Last of Us 2 takes the game of the year award. I'm sorry, that was the fakest, most dumb shit of all time. You could see the reactions on everybody's face, like all the other nominees' face. They were like, "What? Did Last of Us 2 got Game of the Year?" Last of Us 2 ain't even a top 500 game ever. Last of Us 1 is a top 50, top 25 game, like, of all time. It's one of the greatest games of all time. How the hell did Last of Us 2 beat Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Doom Eternal, and Final Fantasy VII? That was some, like, I don't know if Naughty Dog paid Jeff under the table millions of dollars during COVID, but Last of Us 2 should not have got Game of the Year. That might be the title of the video. Last of Us 2 should not have got Game of the Year. And I know people are going to be in the comments dissecting everything I'm saying and nitpicking, because I ain't gonna lie, I am nitpicking Last of Us 2 a little bit, but I don't think, and I'm not trying to come off as saying like Last of Us 2 is a bad game. It's just, it didn't deserve Game of the Year for one. I hope y'all know that. It did not deserve Game of the Year. Two, the gameplay wasn't that innovative enough and evolutionary enough compared to like it being on the first game's level or even being better than the first game. Like the game was cool. Last of Us 2 is a cool 7, 8 out of 10. And that's what I'm trying to say with all, and I'm bringing it back full circle. That's what all these Sony sequels are. They're cool 7 to 8 out of 10. They're not Game of the Year caliber games like the first games. Tsushima, strong 9. Spider-Man 1, strong 9. God of War 2018, 10 out of 10 game. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are some of the best games that came out that year. And God of War 2018, in my opinion, a timeless classic. All the gems Kratos was dropping to Atreus, like him being a father, like that game, you could study that game on fatherhood for I don't fucking know. That game, amazing plot, amazing story, amazing writing. I just feel like God of War Ragnarok was nowhere near that level of story. God of War Ragnarok was a cool 8.5. Like, it was a strong 8.5. Good gameplay, good set pieces, but that game became a grounded, game from 2018 to like Marvel. I don't even know in Ragnarok. But anyways, though, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what Sony sequels you think are that I'm tripping over. Maybe I'm tripping over Last of Us 2 or Ghost of Yote. I didn't even get to that yet. I still haven't got to Ghost of Yote yet. But I just feel like these games, these sequel Sony games, are just cool 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, but they don't really do anything different from the predecessor. But anyways, though, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate the love and support you've been showing me. Comment down below what y'all think of the video. And y'all take it easy, man. Happy Easter, as always. Stay safe. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day.